Gonna start 2024 off with finally talking about what I really think about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm about 4 years late, so I'm just gonna get right into the spoilers. Here's your spoiler warning. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so there seems to be two camps of opinions when it comes to the 7 Remake. We've got the purists who want a one-for-one remake of the original, and those who want a more modern take, or they have no experience with the original.
Right.
I was very much in the purist camp. The original is my favourite game of all time, and I didn't really want anything changed, at all.
Nice to meet you again.
Again, huh?
I started 7 Remake and I was enjoying it. I actually really like the combat, a hybrid between action and turn-based. The developers have done a fantastic job recreating the materia customization system, and that's something really easy to mess up.
I don't need to tell you what this is, right?
And while they're at it, Square took the opportunity to really develop characters like Biggs, Jesse and Wedge.
I wish I could have done more.
Overall, very much had the same story beats as the original. Till the big bad villain Sephiroth, he jumps into the story way earlier than he should, and there's all these random ghosts interfering with the story. It was a bit frustrating. Sephiroth is quoting things that haven't happened yet, that he shouldn't know about, but as I started to put the pieces together, it dawned on me. This is my Sephiroth from the original game. His essence still a part of the livestream, and it seems in the livestream he's learned to mess with realities, time or memories, and he's desperately trying to twist the story in this new game to set up his ultimate victory.
I am.
But I'm a purist. I wanted the original Final Fantasy VII story. Why would I be excited for this?
A fascinating question.
Well, for one, it's fucking awesome. Final Fantasy VII had some of the best twists in game storytelling, and this is a whole new one. Technically, this isn't Final Fantasy VII Remake. You could consider this Final Fantasy VII 2.
It's not technically bullshit when it's true.
And this is actually where those ghosts come in. They're whispers of fate itself. These ghost whispers see what Sephiroth is doing, and they're constantly trying to course correct the story back to what it should be in Final Fantasy VII. Metaphorically, these whispers of fate are the Final Fantasy VII purists like me, who want and love that original story. Because of Sephiroth's actions, we get these little glimpses of what would happen if the story took a different direction, and things do change a little, but these whispers will quickly redirect the story back to as close as the original game as possible. If you went back in time and showed my younger self Final Fantasy VII Remake visuals and gameplay, you'd blow my mind. But if you told me about this big twist of fate with Sephiroth, I'd just explode on the spot.
Kaboom!
I actually had a job interview at Ubisoft, and one of the interviewers claimed Final Fantasy VII was their favourite game of all time. And they were not happy that Final Fantasy VII was also my favourite game of all time, and seems they couldn't understand why I love Remake. Completely disagree with them. This is Final Fantasy VII 2, and it's for the original fans.
Hot damn, we are good!
Yes!
So yeah, didn't get that Ubisoft role, but probably for the best. Hey Quickie, really want to level up my subscriber count because that's going to unlock early review copies of games. I cover lots of RPGs and you're going to want to stick around because I'll be talking more Final Fantasy VII. And I'm planning to replay every mainline Final Fantasy game starting with number 1 this month and working my way up each game each month. Thank you. So, while someone completely new to Final Fantasy VII can play and enjoy this, an original fan is going to get so much more out of this remake. It contains all the original story beats with plenty of references. We see a bit more of Rude this time.
Apparently so.
He replaces broken sunglasses with his spare ones just like in Advent Children. There's a moment where Rude shifts the helicopter to save Tifa, and we know from the original that Rude secretly has a crush on Tifa. Just loads of little moments and nods like this for the fans. As a fan, I was looking out for scenes or moments from the original, and it may seem like they're missing, but some of them are transformed. Like the minigame to sneak past the guards in the Shinra building. That's transformed into hiding behind cover in a similar style against the Valkyrie boss fight, which has slightly moved from the Shinra building as well. That said, this remake only covers the Midgar segment of the original Final Fantasy VII, so there is quite a bit of padding. The padding is a mix of good and bad.
Don't take it personal.
We've got pretty low quality side quests or fetch quests, super cliche quests including clearing someone's backyards of rats.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
While there's a new story chapter dedicated to Biggs, Jesse and Wedge, and that really helps develop these characters, and it just made things extra heart-wrenching, already knowing the fate of these characters.
Together, we can take on the world! I really wanted to believe we could.
Yeah.
There was a whole dancing minigame in the Honeybee Inn. I felt it was a little bit cringe, but Cloud is very reluctant to do it, and to be fair, in the original, there was lots of goofy Honeybee Inn stuff, including the bathhouse scene. The squats minigame has been fleshed out a bit more in a remake, and it has its own music, which is a remix of the battle theme, and it is awesome. The whole soundtrack in general is fantastic, easily one of my top favourite game soundtracks of all time. Plenty of nostalgic remixes and entirely new stuff like Midnight Rendezvous, which plays as you travel between the slums at night. It's incredibly atmospheric and it just feels like it fits right in with Final Fantasy VII. I mentioned the combat earlier. I really like the combat system. In fact, I think it's better than Final Fantasy XVI.
Aw, thanks, bro.
Stance dance between your regular and Punisher stance, reactionary counter-attacks, generally feels slick and fluid, and combat is pseudo-turn-based with your active time bars filling up to spend on special attacks and magic across the party. I really like how cinematics occur during combat and the user interface stays in place. Something about that makes it feel more immersive, like the cinematic is happening in real time rather than loading a cinematic. What helps prop the combat up is the game's take on the materia system. Just like the original, it's deceptively simple, but it has some incredible customization potential with linking different types of materia together for new effects and playstyles. Always love turning my basic spells into area of effects and adding lifesteal or mana drain to them. There's a few completely new ones like Synergy, which allows your party members to cast bonus spells when you cast yours. And despite Remake only being set in Midgar, they've filled the game with different types of materia to discover and earn. You can also customize and upgrade your weapons, but I don't think very much of this system, and there's an option to just automate it, which makes it all feel a bit pointless.
Don't I know it?
So this RPG is now a bit more action RPG. I'd say a little bit more linear and restrictive than the original Final Fantasy VII, but you can explore and backtrack with plenty of meaningful rewards to discover. No more random encounters, but reloading areas will respawn some monsters, and there's new arenas and battle challenges, which are a really good way of grinding, if you're into that, and as well as earning a few extra rewards like limit breaks.
Yeah.
There is no true endgame. It kind of makes sense with this only being part 1 and set in Midgar, but there is the challenge of hard mode with replayable chapters and a few extra arena challenges. I genuinely quite enjoyed hard mode. Boss fights become a lot more strategic and you'll need to customize your characters and material to change up your playstyle and exploit bosses' elemental weaknesses, which I personally think is fantastic. You cannot use any items at all in hard mode, so you really have to conserve your MP, at least till you reach the next rest spot. Or customize yourself to be really efficient with magic.
I'm glad someone's enjoying themselves.
It's a pity there isn't any hard mode from the start, and it's a pity items become completely useless, but that's part of the challenge. So 7 Remake pretty much covers all of the original story beats, some new ones, and slight twists. Nerding out a bit, completely blown away and overwhelmed by dropping the Sector 7 plate, with Rude having to step in this time. Motorbike chase was incredible. That and storming the Shinra building were things I was dying to see with modern visuals. Was not expecting Genova to creep into part 1 as a boss, and it completely blew me away in her final phase when the original main theme kicks in. And holy shit, we get to rewatch Zack's emotional last stand and death. A complete shock and mindfuck when he doesn't die. Truly 7 Remake is for the fans.
I knew it!
As a big 7 fan, there's all these little things and clues you can pick up on in the story. Why can Rufus see the Ghost Whispers? Has he already changed his fate somehow? Is Professor Hojo going to be even more dangerous this time around? He's figured out things faster, he's had time to study and analyse Cloud, and he has discovered the Whispers of Fate. Why does Aerith already know things that she should not?
He's my bodyguard. And a soldier. Pretty cool, huh?
Huh?
I need you to get Marlene to safety, right? This child's a friend.
Why is Cloud crying as if he has hidden memories of the original game? Does Aerith already know she's supposed to die?
There's a final step that has to be taken.
As a fan, the potential for theory crafting is really exciting.
Times like these, you gotta savor.
But this leads into my biggest worry with this new Final Fantasy VII series going forward. At the end of Remake, Sephiroth and Aerith lead us to a fight, where we defeat Fate itself. So I'm worried with Part 2, we're no longer tied to the original storyline, with Fate defeated, and we may go way off the rails.
Sounds bad.
The big guy behind this new Final Fantasy VII series, he promises that Part 2, Rebirth, will still cover all of the original main story points, but the order we do things might change. So his words alleviate my fears a little bit. If I have time, I'd like to do a little video on Intergrade as well. That's been my quick thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake. As someone who was a purist who wanted a one-for-one remake, I've come to love this. Peace for now.